Right, so you're running a Windows machine right now, yes? And you're probably so frustrated with it that you want to switch to something much more efficient. And you may have even got so frustrated you're using like a Linux distribution or something like that just to get by until you can upgrade your PC. And what you're going to do is go down the shop and buy another PC, which is bound to go wrong again. And just for the record, I'm not biased towards anything. I prefer Macs, but as you can see I'm recording this on a PC because this is my main computer. I don't have a Mac yet. I think PCs can be fine, but I'll save my views for another video. So I'm going to talk to you today about briefly what's the features in Mac OS X and what the differences are with a Windows machine and the hardware and how much it costs, etc. for a basic person wanting to switch over to a Mac. Now a Mac is a different type of computer made by Apple, the same people who make iPods and such, which has a different operating system. It's not Windows, it's a special made operating system for their computers, which gets a very rare amount of viruses and doesn't crash barely at all. So you're much better off with a Mac in my eyes. So I'm going to just show you a desktop view of a Mac OS. This is in my browser obviously, but when you log on, this is what you see. You don't get the start menu, you get the Apple menu here, and you click on that, you just find system preferences and such. And you can find all your applications in one folder, and the applications you use most frequently you can put on the dock down here, which is always on your screen at all times. It's like the taskbar in Windows, and you can access all applications there. And you see this little white dot or blue dot underneath each icon are the things that are open at the moment. And it's got all the information up here. There's a little search function. You can even type a calculation, like a sum, into there, and the calculator will work it out for you without you even having to open the application. And to make it tidier, what happens is when you open an application, it pops up on screen, and all of the stuff that you'd normally find in the window on a Windows machine. Say for instance, let me see, what have I got here? I have Camtasia Studio. So I've opened it. I've got the things over here, and then you've got File, Edit, View, Play, etc. This is what I use to edit my videos. So I go there. What actually happens when you open an application in Mac OS X, it pops up, and you've got the buttons here actually on the left, and you've got all the menu at the top in this bar, and you can see it's Finder here. So this person, Eric, has actually got his Finder open, and these are all the options for the Finder, which is basically like Windows Explorer. So now I've given you a brief overview of that. You may want to check out all of the features on apple.com. Go to Mac section and scroll down and watch the video Anatomy of a Mac. It gives you a massive overview of the basics and see some of the great features that come with the Mac. It's very easy to use, and it comes with iLife, which has iPhoto, which is facial recognition. You can have all sorts of stuff. You can upload photos to the internet on simple services like Facebook and Flickr in one click, and email them to people in one click. It's very simple and very efficient to have on your desktop. So I'm going to be talking about the few different hardware today. I start off with the original MacBook, which at the moment is running for $749 in the Apple Store. It's 2.13 GHz as standard, Intel Core 2 Duo, 2 GB of RAM, 160 GB hard drive, NVIDIA GeForce 9400M graphics with a standard keyboard, and it's a white shell. Obviously this is the slightly older model. We move on to the newer MacBook Pro. Now this one's a slightly different one shown on screen. It's slightly different, but all of these new Macs come with a multi-touch display touchpad here. You can use different fingers. You can pinch to zoom, and all sorts of great features like that. All come with a backlit keyboard, and they come in 13-inch, 2.26 GHz with 2 GB of memory, 160 GB hard drive, and 9400M graphics. You can get a 2.53 GHz of the 13-incher as well. You can get a 15-inch model, which ranges from 2.53 GHz to 2.8 GHz. All have 4 GB of memory, and so does the 2.53 GHz 13-inch as well. And you can get SSDs, solid state drives on each of them as well. And the 17-inch is 2.8 GHz, very similar to the 15-inch except the 15-inch you can range from 250 gig hard drive to 500 gig hard drive. So moving on is the really thin Apple MacBook Air, which also comes with a backlit keyboard as a 1.86 GHz model, which is Intel Core 2 Duo processor, 2 gig RAM, 120 gig SATA hard drive, and 9400M graphics. You can get a 2.13 GHz model with the same specs, except it's a 128 gig solid state drive, which is better, and that's only 1349, and the basic model is 1149. As the MacBook Pros I showed before, they are a simple, ranging from 899 for the 13-incher to 1849 for the 17-incher. So we're now going to move on. We've got the iMac now, which is an all-in-one desktop. I'll be showing you these peripherals in a minute. We've got the Super Drive. It's all built into the screen. It's amazing. It's got very high definition screen. It's absolutely beautiful. You should go in store and check one out. The screen is absolutely amazing. You get the 20-inch ranging from 2.66 GHz. That's the only model, with 2 gig of memory, 320 gig of hard drive, dual layer Super Drive, and 9400M graphics again. And the 24-inch ranges from 2.66 GHz to 3.06 GHz. All have 4 gig of RAM. 640 gig hard drives, or the 24-inch with 3.06 GHz has 1 TB of hard drive, with NVIDIA GeForce GT130 with 512 meg of RAM installed in that. And the 20-inch model is 949, 2.66 GHz 24-inch model is 1199, and the 24-inch 2.93 GHz is 1499. 24-inch 3.06 GHz is 1799. So now we're going to look at the Mac Mini, I believe. Yep, this is very, very small. You can see this is a disk drive, which is, you can see just how small it is. It's basically the size of a disk. It is the tiniest desktop ever. You can use any display keyboard and mouse with it that you've already got, so it's ideal for people first switching to see if they like Macs. The 2 GHz model with 120 gig hard drive, 1 gig of RAM, comes with all of the usual stuff for $499, so it's the most affordable way to get a Mac, or $649 for the 2 GHz 320 gig model with 2 gig of RAM. And then we go on to the massive Power Horse, which is it used to be the Power Mac, but it's now called the Mac Pro. You can get a quad-core model, which is 2.66 GHz with 3 gig of RAM, 640 gig hard drive, and NVIDIA GeForce GT120 for $1,899, or the 8-core model with 2 quad-core Intel Xeon processors, 6 gig of RAM, 640 gig of hard drive, 18 times dual layer Super Drive, and the usual graphics too, for $2,499. Now, all of the specs on all of these machines can be bumped up, especially the one on the Mac Pro. This particular machine, you can bump it up to about 32 gig of RAM, I believe, or something crazy like that, and like 4 TB of hard drive. You can do all sorts with all of the configurations. You can bump up the spec, because it's like a Dell. If you go on the Dell website before, and you can build your own computer to your spec, that's exactly what you can do with Apple as well. So the thing I'm going to show you quickly is the accessories. I'm going to show you the keyboard, which is an aluminum or aluminium wired or wireless keyboard. The wired one here, you can see, has USB ports on the side. It's very, very thin, and the wireless one just has the power buttons and battery case at the top. Now, going back, we're going to move on to the Apple Mighty Mouse, which has touch-sensitive click technology, which has, like, you can test on each sides, and it's got the scroll wheel, and you can squeeze it to launch Expose and more. So there's a wireless one of that, and all sorts as well. So I think you really will like the Macs, and I definitely know I do, and I'm going to get one soon. There's so much more you can do with them, especially if you're a music producer, graphics designer, and you can get education discounts as well for students, which is always very handy. So please go on to apple.com or UK, wherever you go, to check them out.